Hey everybody, how are ya? This afternoon, actually, it's going to evening, as it's 5:04 here in the east, which means it is 2:04 on the west coast. And Drew Lock of Missouri had his pro day earlier today, which I watched here in Georgia, actually with my mom, on NFL Network. And no, we were not on NFL Network; we were watching it on NFL Network. And yeah, the observation that I have to make, just to be candid, is that Drew Lock's pro day was lackluster. He his throws were, if you think of the accuracy point as a box, like pitching, uh, in pitching in baseball, you have the strike zone. If you think of the strike zone as applied to and throwing at a target, Drew Lock. If you think that Drew Lock had a great pro day, your strike zone is so large that it might as well be a black hole. Um, if you were to apply the standard measure of a strike zone to Drew Lock's performance, you would come away just shaking your head and saying he didn't do a great job at all. On at least 5 occasions, Lock had his receivers reaching up for balls to catch them, many times going out out of bounds. And he has a throwing motion such that the ball just quite literally is prone to take off on him. And even though I disagree with Charlie Casserly's absolutely crazy statement, in fact, my mom said, I don't know football, but I know this man is reaching. This is my mom saying this. My mom's 84. Okay, she's watched a lot of sports, a lot of football. My mom has the greatest basic observations I've ever heard of anybody. And she called it. She just said, "Hey, this man talking about Charlie Cashley's statement, which I'll get to in a second, is reaching. Even he knows he doesn't know what he's talking about." My mom said this. Okay, so what Charlie said was that, and I quote, "Some teams have Drew Lock ahead of Kyler Murray and Dwight Haskins," and that's crazy. I mean, the next statement you would have to ask is why? Because he's white and they're black. It's really sad that every time we approach the NFL draft of late, I would say over the last 10 years in particular, there's always this undercurrent of racism whenever black quarterbacks come into play. And that certainly has been the case this year. Amir Hall, who is an outstanding talent from historically black Bowie, Bowie State University, one of the best players in black college quarterback history, a person that when I looked at him, I compared him to Doug Williams in terms of style and throwing motion, didn't even get an invite to the NFL Combine. Of course, there was such a cacophony and screaming of problems here that his it was opened up to him to join and become a part of the regional combine where he excelled. But I digress. We're talking about Drew Lock. Drew Lock, he just sucked. Okay, and I'm not saying that to be insulting of the young man. He simply put in a poor performance. He was nervous. You could see he was huffing, puffing. He was, and I can understand it because that's a big thing that he's going on to do. I get that. But on the other hand, he has to go up against Kyler Murray, whose pro day was effortless. He made it look like he was just chewing gum. But you could actually feel the weight and pressure of the situation on Drew Lock. And it showed. It completely showed. What Drew needs to work on, and what his coaches should have had him working on, was simply pacing himself. Taking a deep breath, measuring the situation, and then calmly going through his steps. For example, he would take a 7-step drop, and he would rush the steps. So rush, 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 rush. In fact, he rushed the step to a point where he actually took 9 steps instead of 7. You would think 7 steps and then a hitch step, right? Nah. He actually took 9 steps and then a few other, like a chop, chop, and then a throw. A quick chop and a throw. So I felt sorry for him because of the fact that all this was happening in real time and the coaches weren't or didn't have a mechanism to correct him as he went along. The simple mechanism would have been to say, "Hey, look, this just here's some water. Take a 5 second break among yourselves. Don't say it's a 5 second break, so people don't know that it's a 5 second break, and then just you know practice breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, stretch a bit, and then get back to it. You know what I mean? But that would be a way of pacing him, and so they didn't help his cause by the way they put him through those drills. Did I see anything I liked about Drew Lock, excuse me? Yeah, he's got a live arm. He when the ball really does eventually get away, it gets there. But it's the motion. And sometimes he's winding up Starbucks style. He's starting it off low here and it comes up here, then it comes up and it's like that. Whereas if you take a look at Dwight Haskins, that thing just comes out of there. Kyler Murray, it just comes out of there. So for Charlie Casserly to make the statement that he did, I thought was just absolutely crazy. It was not one of those deliberate, let's gain headline statements that makes you just scratch your head and say, is it really worth all that? I mean, gee, we know media's in trouble, but come on, man. No. I think Drew Lock needs time. He's Drew Lock. I can project this now. Drew Lock is going to be a player that is going to wind up kind of like your Ryan Tannehill. He'll start for a team, he'll last for 2 or 3 years, and he'll get traded. He'll be a person that is, to a degree, if he doesn't get with the right team, a coach killer. That is, he's good enough to win for you and maintain a starting job, but not good enough to get you to the Super Bowl. And I hope I'm wrong, but that's just my read right now. Now the question is, if it's my charge to draft Drew Lock and then fix him, what I would do right off the bat is I would put him in a system that had an unpredictable and strong running game. I would run 60% of the time, pass 40, and make sure that my passes were built off my runs. Now I know Drew Lock has been in situations where he's lit it up at the college level, but until I'm comfortable that his release is fast enough, I'm not going to put him in that situation. And then I would be very careful to design passes that create the scenario of the obviously open wide receiver. Trick plays, misdirection, pass patterns, stuff that I would do anyway, but I would really emphasize it with him. Rollouts, motion. I would make it so difficult for him to be stopped that you would have to have a special defensive game plan for playing us. That's, now, having said all of what I said about Drew Lock in terms of his play, I think intellectually he can handle what we would throw at him. That much I'm certain, okay? But would I take him over Dwight Haskins? No freaking way. I mean, absolutely not. No. Dwight Haskins has a confidence level and an it factor that is going to serve him exceptionally well at the next level. And he has a natural set of physical skills that he uses appropriately, specifically his height and his arm strength compacted in a way that produces a throwing motion such that the ball comes out as fast as, I would say, E.J. Manuel. E.J. Manuel has the fastest release I've ever seen of any quarterback outside of Marcus Mariota. Those two, well, I would say Haskins is right there with him, and that's something. What I like about Drew Lock in terms of his deep ball throws, he keeps his eye on the receiver and he throws and he lets his body and his eyes take the ball to the receiver. He's not trying to aim it, I'll aim to the sky and then hope it falls, because when you aim it that way, what are you doing? You're taking your eye off the receiver. You let your body do the work. I don't mind if it has like kind of a flat trajectory. That's good. It'll get there. It'll get there. Peyton Manning had that. And look what he did. So I'm not closing the door on Drew Lock at all. He's definitely going to be a first-round pick, but I saw enough in his pro day to give me pause. I didn't see a Dwight Haskins pro day, all right? I certainly didn't see a Kyler Murray pro day. So how anyone could say, that, as Charlie Cashley said, I mean, look at this. This is Charlie Cashley saying, look at this, all right? Some teams have Lock ahead of Murray and Haskins. Who? Who, okay? Who? Even Andrew Salino was like, who? My mom was like, who? Everyone's like, who? Who could possibly do that? At any rate. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Zenny62. And on YouTube. And my short stream on Drew Lock's Pro Day. The title is Drew Lock's Pro Day was lackluster, so Murray and Haskins should relax. Yes. I don't think they have anything to worry about. Some programming notes. Tomorrow, we'll have the meeting conference call in preparation for the NFL annual meeting, which Zenny62 Media will attend Sunday through Wednesday of next week. Very excited to go. Just need to get some rest. And so tomorrow, we'll get a perfect idea what's going to be on the agenda during the conference call. Tune in here, find out more. What else? I can't think of anything else. Let me see if any one of you, hey Joseph, how you doing? Have any questions? I don't see anybody. John and Joseph, Kala and Amandaris, how are you guys doing if you're still here? If not, I understand. Thumbs up if you have an opportunity to press that button. Joseph says, my niece and nephew are 4-year-old twins watching their show there. Are you watching now? Hello. Hey, how are you? And we're watching it. No, anyway. Whenever you're watching either now or last night, welcome. I'm happy to have you as viewers, be fantastic. And oh yeah, right. Oh right. Oh, you're watching right now. Hey everybody. Hi. How are you? Welcome. Welcome to Zenny62 on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Well, of course you have. Oh, so let me get to. Las Vegas Stadium Authority was Madeline and Mason. Hey, Madeline and Mason, how are you? How are you doing? Madeline and Mason, how are you? The two M's, how y'all doing? Cool. Nice to have you all here. The two M's, all right. So I've got some client work to catch real quick. So what I'm going to do is, they said hi back. I wish, it would be nice if it was two-way like that, okay? It really would. They said hi back, didn't realize you can't see them. No, I can't. I wish I could. I think, how would that work? Google Hangouts, maybe? I have to investigate that. It would be nice if it were two-way like that, right? I think that would be the next step in this evolution of broadcast and infotainment, if you will, right? Infotainment, that sort of thing. Oh, hey, I was going to mention, the Las Vegas Stadium Authority meeting was supposed to be for today. Today's the 21st, right? I couldn't find it. This was at 11:30, but I thought it was going to be at 1 o'clock, so I missed the timing. But even then, you would think someone would have tweeted out something. There was nothing. Nothing. There was just the agenda uh, posted on the website, but no one tweeted out anything. And yeah, the Raiders lease, I put that on my tweet. The Raiders lease has been approved, and I will actually put out a press release I received from Councilman Rebecca Kaplan on her area. But yeah, the Raiders lease has been approved, but the Las Vegas Stadium Authority had no, at all, no, had no, ooh, my goodness, had I mean, no message, no, nothing. I'm looking through some mail I got here. Everything all of a sudden just exploded. Nobody at all put anything out about the results of that meeting. Okay, no one. So no one. I mean, I've checked Twitter, I've checked Facebook, I've checked everything. I can't find anything. And I'll tell you, folks, ever since this deal is passed, the Las Vegas Stadium deal, you have a situation where the flow of information out about it is scarce. For example, this particular meeting included a report that was filed in January. This is March. You have a stadium hotel tax revenue data report that's 2 months behind. Bad stuff. Barking Iron says, is the talk real that Gruden is looking at Murray or Locke to replace Carr? I don't know about replace, but the talk is real that the Raiders have at least put out some. Let me put it this way. Locke, John Gruden coached in the Senior Bowl. Murray and Haskins, John Gruden met with and interviewed at the NFL Combine, okay? And I'm sure he had another meeting with Locke as well. I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders took Drew Lock later. That would not surprise me at all. It would not surprise me to see Drew Lock in a Raiders uniform. It would not surprise me to see Dwight Haskins in a Raiders uniform. It would surprise me to see Kyler Murray in a Raiders uniform, because I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to get up to number 1 to get him, and I don't think he's going to last long enough to get to number 4. Okay? So that would surprise me. All right? That would surprise me. And Goose says Mizzou's best prospect might be Emmanuel Hall. Yeah, it's not Locke. Okay. John Collins says, Oakland City Council today, I read approved Raiders lease. That's correct. Banking Iron says, with all their needs, why waste a first-round pick on a backup quarterback? And I agree with you, because, well, here's my thing, all right? The Raiders need to work on a heir apparent for Derek Carr. But I think more important than that, the Raiders need to work on an offense that can guarantee yardage for Derek Carr, whoever operates it. And the offense Coach Gruden put on the field last year is not that offense. I'm not talking about using the Bill Walsh offense. The idea of the Bill Walsh offense really is a study in footwork and analysis of defenses. Having said that, you can fit anything into it. If you understand it, you can fit a wishbone into it. You can fit a wildcat into it. You could fit the principles around the veer offense. I mean, you can use the run and shoot principles. Any offense that you can think of, you can quite literally create a Bill Walsh offense version of. Because when you talk about Coach Walsh offense, it's about drawing footwork. 1, 2, 3 steps, 4 steps. It's about understanding footwork and then timing. Footwork and timing. And then analysis of defenses, as Mariucci would say. Wide field, where am I lined up? Narrow vision, where's my keys, right? That can apply to any approach, okay? Any formation or play approach. you can fit into that way of thinking about football. I say that so forcefully because there's some people who believe the Bill Walsh offense is simply split backs because that's what the 49ers happened to be running at the time. But Coach Walsh himself said that I'm not married to a formation. He wrote that in his classic paper called Controlling the Football, or the passing game, that he made as part of a lecture he gave to the American Football Coaches Association. I believe this was in 1988, excuse me, 1984, somewhere in, well, actually it was even earlier than that. 1979, I'm sorry, 1979. So, point is, when I say that, in terms of offense, it can apply to any kind. So, I'm not saying Gruden should step away from what he's learned, but he should work to think more outside the box of possibilities that he has presented to date. And so, a No Raider guy, how you doing? A No Raider guy writes, I think the chances, if the lawsuit survives the NFL, and the Raiders might just pay out of court to settle for about $100 million. Oh, I seriously doubt the city would settle for $100 million. $200 million, maybe, but $100 million, doubtful. And the city would want to go through a complete adjudication to get there rather than take that, okay? And so John Acala says, yes, for this year it's official. John Acala says, do you think Kaepernick fits the style of offense Gruden likes to run? Yeah, I do. In fact, he could simply have ran it. He could run what Gruden put in last year, which if you look at what John was doing, it's not dissimilar to what Sean McVay was doing in Los Angeles, okay? Joseph Armendariz says, we talked yesterday about being a Frankenstein team. All right, let's try this again. See if this works. Let's see if we're back. Are we back? Or are we forward? Let's see here. Hey, it looks like we're forward. Woohoo! Refreshing. And I'm writing hello. Hello? Are you all? I see 4 people watching, but no one's talking. Hey, Maddie, are you there? John? Oh, I see 7 people now. I'm back. Yeah, that was really weird. What happened was I got a call in from my client. Hey, Turabella, and there was some sort of fascinating kind of electronic thing going on that went away when I did something, and I'm not even going to mention what I did because I want to discourage the scurvy of anybody that might be, thinking they could mess with stuff, you know what I mean? But whatever. One thing, however, is I was going to say, is the screen blurry for you? And let me know that. I just asked that question. There's like a delay here. Anybody? No, it's good. Oh, screen. Okay, fine. It's clear for you? Fine. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So what was I saying prior to... Oh, I think, Unknown Raider guy, you were asking me about something that Councilmember Rebecca Kaplan had said. That was all a mistake. And that was... Raj Mathai put out something that she didn't intend to be put out. And he didn't correct it. So Councilmember Kaplan came to me and talked on the record and gave me the texts that she shared. Now, he claims that she shared something else with him, but the whole point is, I think it was born of 2 things. First of all, him not really understanding the entire deal. And look, no disrespect intended to Raj Mathai. Raj is a fantastic person. It's not the issue at all. Just look, I make a lot of mistakes, okay? So I'm not even saying I'm perfect, all right? That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is simply this. No, they want a lot more money than 100 million. All right, that's what I'm saying. All right. Joseph Mandura says, so you're in the middle of answering my question about Frankenstein team. Oh yeah, no. My point is that you can use, and I'm glad you said that because I got off track and I got so into the hedges of explaining things that I got off track. What I was trying to say is this: there is so much that you can do within the Bill Walsh offense that John can come up with a completely different approach in terms of plays and formations, but still use the same principles and the same terminology. So I think it is to his benefit if he does this to come up with something new, something that would seem crazy. You know, I haven't seen the Raiders run a trick play, have you? Well, once, right? In fact, now that I think about it, the last time I saw the Raiders run a trick play was the Todd Downing years when they had that flea flicker, right? I haven't seen them do anything other than, I don't call end arounds a trick play, right? I call reverses a necessary staple of a great running attack. That's me. Now, somebody else, like yourself, may call it a trick play. I don't. End arounds, no. They're neat. Fake end around passes, even neater, right? If you have the time to run them. My concern in the modern NFL is the defenders are so fast that you better make sure you've designed something that gives you enough time to get the ball off, right? You don't get your quarterback killed. So, Joseph, there's my answer to your question. Oh no, Raider guy says, I'm asking because a lot of people say Mark Davis can't afford the lawsuit, but the NFL can. Well, here's the thing. Hey, make sure you read the lawsuit. Because if you read the lawsuit, you'll understand one thing. That lawsuit is to both of them. The lawsuit doesn't discriminate. It doesn't say, well, Mark, you're worse than the NFL, or well, NFL, you're worse than Mark. The lawsuit doesn't discriminate, so it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter that allegedly there's some note out there that the Raiders sign that says, hey, you know, you're on your own in terms of the legal issues and all that stuff. It doesn't matter because the way the lawsuit's written, a judge isn't going to care. All right? The lawsuit points at the NFL as well as the Raiders, and as well it should. So, you know, forget all that. But please, if you have an opportunity, read the lawsuit. I ought to do a segment specifically on the techniques of the lawsuit. Unknown Raider guy says, so the NFL is involved, so that can they get together, play for the law, or the NFL just might give $200 million to drop the lawsuit? I have no idea what the NFL intends to do, other than this is going to drag on for a while. These lawsuits do. These aren't quick things. And I know a lot of you may not have been around or had a reason or cause to pay attention during the early aughts, but these lawsuits generally take 5 years to work out. As much as 5 years to work out. And not just in this situation. Look at something else I'll cover, Chevron Ecuador, okay? That took a long time too. Hey folks, I've got to wrap this up because I gotta go to work. Of a different kind related to this. And on the regular says, I totally agree because the Rams lawsuit has been going since the Rams moved to LA. Yeah, absolutely. One thing I was going to explain real quick, however, and that's this. Hold on. Communications. And yeah, I'm glad the NFL is going to profit. The NFL, excuse me. I'm glad the Raiders are going to profit from it as well. Also, what I meant to say is you've got, hey, Stanford head coach David Shaw returns to NFL Network's coverage of the NFL draft. Woohoo! All right, so we've got NFL launches. What else? Falcons, path to the draft. What was I going? Oh, I'll just go ahead and knock this in here. Hold on a second, folks. I'm just doing something here. Okay, and there. And all right, now. Okay, conference call is 10 o'clock Eastern. So if you are up, if you're on the West Coast, Get up at 7 in the morning. Come here, because we will have a conference call for the news media to preview the NFL annual meeting. The call will feature NFL Vice President of Football Operations Troy Vincent and Atlanta Falcons President and CEO and Competition Committee Chairman Rich McKay to discuss the Competition Committee's agenda for the meeting. So if you want to find out, come here, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. on the East Coast. All right, I got to get going. I'll talk to you all later. I'll see you. All right. All right. All right. I will talk to you all later. I will check on that question you asked regarding a lawsuit as soon as I get off here, because I got to get going. All right, everybody. I'll see you.